This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode, a brand new week of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today I'm going to I wish I had this quote last week when I spoke about purpose. I didn't do that on purpose. This quote I feel is it's like a direct line to understanding our purpose, right? And I kind of actually know, maybe I think my partner sent it to me as part of a conversation with Dr. Joe DiMartini and Kerwin Ray, I believe. And it simply states, our highest value is our purpose. And it fucking hit me, hit me real hard. I was like, that's so fucking clear, right? Is that defining our purpose is defining what's most valuable for us. There's layers to it after that, but really about going, my highest value, what I value the most is heavily what's driven by my purpose. Now, sometimes we may be confused by our values and think that, you know, what we really value isn't what we value, it's what we get from what we think we value, right? So sometimes it's like, well, I highly value financial freedom, whereas in reality it's just freedom, right? So that financial freedom might drive the person to make a lot of sales, but that's not their purpose. Their purpose is heavily based on what they believe freedom to be. It's quite interesting, and I think it's a very individual and personal thing, and I'm not here to say what's right and wrong. Excuse me. Sorry, it's just this idea of making sure you're clear on what your highest value is. And so often we end up dying a very slow and, painful, long fucking death, because what ends up happening is that we end up working in a job that's fucking paying us hush money for our dreams, right? That's what most people's salaries are. Hush money for our fucking dreams. And doing things that we just don't value. And this ends up eroding us, right? And eroding us until we just become so compliant that that's just how life is. And we accept that because that's far easier to accept than understanding that we chose to do this based upon external factors and challenging situations, whatever it may be. It's not easy. I'm not trying to have an easy conversation. But it's true. It's true because we end up dying when we don't do things that we don't value. And that's why they're like, you should have a hobby. And think about this, and I fucking rebel against this, of having a couple hours a week to do things that you love, right? To do things that you really enjoy, that you value. A couple of hours a week, but you got to spend all this other time doing all this other shit that you don't want to do, right? See, there's so many things here that make life so much fucking harder than it possibly could be. Now, the advice here isn't to just everyone quit their job tomorrow and go out and do what they want to do. I think it's more challenging than that, obviously. But the thing here is, I don't know what you value. I don't know what's right for you. I don't know what's good for you. You do. You're meant to know that. And the beautiful thing about you knowing that is that then you can start to make decisions and own it, right? It's like understanding this question. I said this question to my partner the other day. And she said, that's really, straight to the point. I'm sure I've mentioned it before on the podcast, but how much can someone pay you to be unhappy? How much can someone pay you to not be able to live the life that you want? How much can someone pay you to take away your freedom? Right? It's interesting because we're conditioned at an early age to go to school. Not a bad thing, just pointing it out. And what happens? We're conditioned that at an early age we should get up early and we should go sit down and look the same as everyone else and learn how to do things like everyone else, so we become a part of a system like everyone else, and then we leave in the afternoon, right? And so this is a system that we're like we're taught, and then we end up doing it later on in life, and we call it work, but it can often erode our soul. And so this is the beautiful thing of the world that we live in now, is that there's just so much access to information. There's so much opportunity. Like even the fact that I'm currently in an industrial area in Canberra in Australia, and I'm speaking into a microphone. I don't know how the fucking microphone works. It just works. It's amazing. And I plugged something into my computer right? It goes into the XLR microphone, goes into the mixer then plugs into the computer. I had to download an app. I don't even know how the fucking computer works, right? And download an application to the computer, then it records it, then I upload it to a website. The fact that this is even possible is amazing. Now, before I had no idea how to do this. Before starting a podcast, I had no concept on how to do that. I had to literally Google, how do I start a podcast? And what came up, and I literally followed it, which I struggled with for a long time, step by step by step by step. But this is the world that we live in now, is that it just takes time to lean into the things that are important to us, but it feels so scary because we've been told for so fucking long to just sometimes in life you have to do the things you don't want to do. Yeah, that's sometimes. That's not most of the time. This is our choice to how we choose to live our life. It really fucking is. But to live life intertwined with our purpose, with what's most valuable to us, gives us the Richmond of life, this rich taste, this flavor, this warmth within us that continues to allow us to keep doing what we're doing. See, we go home and we watch movies, we watch TVs of people actually living their dreams and doing the things that they absolutely fucking love. Some of them are miserable, yes. And we drive in the car, but we're listening to these people making music and making art, and they're giving this expression of self. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's just the Illuminati or whatever. But they're giving this expression of self, and we like, yeah. And then we go to and fucking sit in front of a computer that we hate. It's like we're giving all this time and energy and money and all that kind of stuff to all these other people, but here we are not doing the things that's important to us. And then our kids are watching us, so we tell them to go to college. And the message here isn't to go to college. That's not the message, right? Or university or whatever you want to call it. Like, I'm a big believer in studying. I'm a big believer in studying what makes you, like, what fascinates you beyond belief. What you can get so drunk on, right? Like learn that to its absolute depths, and you'll master it. And then your mastery is just happened by accident because you were so absorbed in the interest of it, right? And all of a sudden, then you've got value to give to people that they'll give you money for, right? Which means that you can stop doing some things that you don't like so much, so you can really start to show all this value to these people around you. And it takes years, and people give up, and that's the problem. They give up. You don't have to give up. You have to keep going. You have to push through. There's a way. You just got to keep pushing through. You got to keep getting up. You got to keep moving through it. You got to keep going towards the thing that fascinates you the most. That's where a beautiful life is. A beautiful life is heavily interconnected with what you value most. And that's a purposeful life. You've got drive in you now. There's when you are living a life that's purposeful for you, you don't have to ever be motivated. Do you hear that? When you live a life that's most purposeful for you, you don't ever have to rely on motivation. And if there is anything more powerful than that, then I want to fucking hear it. I'm sure there is. But that's fucking powerful. It's beautiful. So find out what your highest value is. Otherwise, bring that question of how to find it onto the Q&A in the next week or so. You'll hear it in the Mood Prep community group on Facebook. You should join it for sure, because there will be a Q&A live on there very, very soon. The other thing is that I have extended. We had an issue with the website. I've extended the Mood Prep Intensive Live weekend. It's 2 for 1, only for the next week. This is the last week. There's only 5 tickets I'm giving away for this. 5. That's it. 2 for 1, which means for 10 people, 5. That is 5 times 2 equals 10. And it's $397. I want to make sure that this is heavily accessible. I know some people are here, like, I'm in an arguing about whether you should go or not. If you want, I'm happy to get testimonials from people that came last time to try and get you across the line. If you think this is going to be valuable for you, like, back yourself. If you really feel like this is something that you want to do, I'd love to meet you. I'd love to see you there, because the whole idea of running these types of weekends is to give people an opportunity to see their potential, and to start pathing their way towards it so they can fucking do what they want to do to inspire themselves and inspire the people around them. That's the whole idea of these live events. 21st and 22nd, it is in Sydney. You can find out more details on my website, davenixon.com.au/seminars. $397, 2 for 1 tickets. Bring a friend. It's only going to be live for 1 more week at that price. And that's it. I'd love to see you there. But team, I'm out until tomorrow. Peace and pizza. Kick today in the dick and slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbright.